There is a silent, unseen force that governs all the relationships in your life. This power shapes whether you'll be lifted up or dragged down, whether you'll be respected or taken advantage of, and whether you'll be adored or dismissed. It's not something you can see with your eyes, nor is it something you can touch or measure. This hidden power does not rely on your communication skills, your outward appearance, your education, or even your social standing. It comes from a deeper, more fundamental source: how you perceive others. Now, imagine for a moment that every time you meet someone, you can instantly understand who they truly are. No more guesswork, no more doubts. With just a single conversation, you would know whether this person is someone you should trust, someone you should learn from, or someone you should avoid. It sounds almost too good to be true, doesn't it? But what if I told you that this power is within your reach, and it all starts with one simple, profound shift in how you approach every relationship? Welcome to Success Lesson. If this is the first time you're hearing this, let me congratulate you. You've just stumbled upon one of the most crucial lessons that can completely change the way you approach life, communication, and relationships. How many times have you walked away from a conversation feeling betrayed or misunderstood? Or perhaps, how many times have you found yourself stuck in an endless argument, trying to convince someone of something they just weren't ready to hear? Or worse, how many times have you put your trust in the wrong person, only to find out too late that they didn't deserve it? What if I told you that all these frustrations, all these moments of feeling lost and drained, could have been avoided? Not by changing who you are or trying to be someone else, but by simply understanding the person standing before you. The truth is, we all carry within us a certain power, the power to influence and shape the dynamics of our relationships. However, this power isn't something we often think about consciously. We take it for granted, and as a result, we often misjudge others, leading to unnecessary hurt and disappointment. But what if you could change all that by understanding a simple framework? A framework that allows you to see people for who they truly are, based not on their appearances or their words, but on their level of self-awareness and understanding. This framework doesn't require you to be a genius, nor does it demand that you become a master of social cues. It's simpler than that. All you need is to learn to recognize which group of people you're interacting with. The 4 groups that make up the fabric of every interaction you'll ever have. Understanding these groups is the first step to taking control of your relationships and avoiding the pitfalls that can drain your energy and leave you feeling emotionally exhausted. But why is this so important? Think about it. How many times have you entered a conversation only to find yourself thinking, why am I even here? Why am I wasting my time? You've all been there. It's frustrating. It's draining. But what if I told you that by simply understanding which group the person in front of you belongs to, you could decide whether to engage, whether to keep your distance, or whether to invest your energy? And what if that decision, that simple awareness, could help you build stronger, more meaningful connections with the people who matter? This is not a trick. This is not some quick fix solution that promises instant results. It's a fundamental shift in how you approach relationships, and once you've mastered it, you'll never look at your interactions the same way again. So, what are these groups, and why do they matter? Well, let me introduce you to the 4 categories of people that you will encounter in every aspect of your life. 1. People who know and know that they know. These are the rare gems. They are the ones who have mastered their craft, their mind, and their soul. They don't need to boast about their achievements. You can feel their confidence, their quiet assurance. You don't just want to talk to them. You want to learn from them. And here's the beauty. You can. These people are valuable, and they are often the ones who can truly help you grow. But how do you know if you're interacting with them? That's where the framework comes in. Once you understand who they are, you'll know how to interact with them in the most effective way possible. 2. People who know but don't know that they know. These people are hidden treasures. They may have incredible skills or insights, but for some reason, they don't recognize their own value. They might lack self-confidence, or perhaps they've never been encouraged enough to realize their worth. These are the people who might not be speaking up in meetings, the ones who might shy away from taking risks, even though they have the capability to succeed. When you interact with these people, you have an opportunity to help them see their potential. A well-timed word of encouragement can change their trajectory, and you'll become the person who helped them unlock their greatness. This is the power of understanding their hidden potential. 3. People who don't know, but know that they don't know. These people are the learners. They don't pretend to have all the answers, but they are actively seeking them. They are humble and open to feedback. They're the ones who ask questions, who want to learn more, and who aren't afraid to admit when they don't know something. These people are the best to invest your energy in because they're eager to grow. When you recognize someone from this group, you'll know that your time spent with them will lead to mutual growth. They're not just looking to take from you, they're looking to add value to their own lives and to those around them. 4. People who don't know and don't know that they don't know. The most difficult group. These are the people who are stubborn in their ignorance, who argue for the sake of arguing. They're convinced they're right, even when they have no clue what they're talking about. They're the ones who drag you into endless debates that lead nowhere. The key with these people is to step back. You don't need to engage with them. You don't need to convince them. The best thing you can do is recognize them for who they are and then move on. Your energy is too precious to be wasted on someone who isn't ready to listen, learn, or change. Now, you might be wondering, how do I put this into practice? How can I start using this framework in my everyday interactions? The answer is simple: awareness. By becoming aware of these groups, you can navigate every relationship more effectively, knowing when to engage, when to step back, and when to invest your energy. This is where you gain control over your time, control over your emotional energy, and most importantly, control over the relationships you choose to nurture. So, if you're ready to take control of your relationships and start interacting with people in a way that adds value to your life, here's what you need to do next. Subscribe to Success Lesson. Hit that button and join me on this journey as we explore more powerful lessons that will help you build a life of meaning and success. By subscribing, you're not just supporting the channel, you're making a commitment to grow with me and to build the skills that will take your relationships and your life to the next level. Let's continue this journey together. See you in the next lesson. This version is structured to create a strong emotional connection from the start and maintain the reader's attention throughout. The hook is designed to raise curiosity and engage the viewer immediately, while the call to action at the end encourages them to take the next step and subscribe for future content. The language used is aimed at being relatable and inspiring, while still grounded in the practical and actionable advice of understanding and applying the 4 groups in communication. In life, we often find ourselves navigating a world full of diverse individuals, each with their own background, experiences, and perspectives. Whether it's in our personal relationships or professional settings, the people we encounter leave a mark on our lives. But how often do we pause to truly understand who they are before we invest our time, trust, and emotions? Too often, we allow ourselves to be swept up in surface-level impressions, rushing to form judgments or connections without truly understanding the essence of the people around us. The importance of recognizing and understanding the people we interact with cannot be overstated. It is not just about evaluating them based on appearances or immediate actions. It is about diving deeper into their self-awareness, their ability to perceive their own limitations, and how they choose to navigate the world. When we fail to recognize these nuances, we often find ourselves entangled in relationships that drain us, misled by people who don't align with our values, or caught in cycles of disappointment and frustration. The truth is, understanding people at a deeper level is the key to avoiding unnecessary harm and building meaningful, sustainable connections. Imagine for a moment how much easier life would be if we had a clear understanding of the people we meet. What if you could walk into any room any situation and immediately know who is worth your trust, your energy, and your time? What if you could spot those who are genuine, who can teach you, help you grow, or even challenge you in the best possible ways? Wouldn't that save you from so many misunderstandings, arguments, and emotional exhaustion? This is not a far-fetched idea. It's possible to achieve with a little awareness and understanding. Recognizing the different levels of self-awareness in people is the foundation for fostering meaningful interactions and relationships. It helps you invest your energy wisely, build lasting connections, and protect yourself from being taken advantage of or left drained. The reality is that not everyone you meet is meant to be a part of your journey. Understanding who you're dealing with can help you discern who deserves your attention and who doesn't. When we start recognizing that people fall into different categories based on their self-awareness and perception of themselves, it opens up a whole new world of understanding. We realize that not all relationships are created equal, and that's okay. Some people will be a source of inspiration, others will teach us valuable lessons, and some may even challenge us to grow. But not everyone is meant to be in your inner circle. Some people, though they may seem harmless or even appealing at first glance, are not the right fit for your emotional or mental well-being. And that's where the power of self-awareness comes into play. It allows us to build relationships that nurture us, not drain us. It helps us set boundaries, invest our emotions where they are reciprocated, and protect ourselves from those who would otherwise use our energy for their benefit. Understanding who someone is at their core, not just what they say or do on the surface, gives us the clarity to choose wisely who we surround ourselves with. But how do we make these distinctions? How do we know who is worthy of our time and energy and who is not? The answer lies in recognizing the deeper traits that separate those who are self-aware from those who are not. It's about understanding their capacity to see themselves accurately, to know their strengths and weaknesses, and to be willing to grow. Some people are so lost in their own perceptions that they fail to see the truth about themselves, while others are constantly striving to improve, willing to learn from others and grow. The challenge for us is recognizing the difference and reacting accordingly. When we fail to recognize these differences, we make mistakes. We waste time on relationships that ultimately don't serve us. We invest in people who are not ready or willing to see the truth about themselves. And we end up feeling frustrated, disappointed, and sometimes even heartbroken. But when we become skilled at recognizing who someone really is, we can navigate the world with a deeper sense of understanding and purpose. We can make conscious choices about where we invest our energy, time, and emotions. So how do you start implementing this understanding in your life? The first step is simple: awareness. Becoming aware of the people around you and how they perceive themselves is the key to understanding them. But it's not just about recognizing their strengths or weaknesses. It's about seeing them for who they truly are, beyond the mask they may wear. It's about asking the right questions, noticing the signs, and becoming keenly attuned to the way people interact with you and the world around them. And here's the beauty of it. Once you begin to see people clearly, everything changes. Your relationships will shift. You'll stop wasting time and emotional energy on people who are not aligned with your goals and values. Instead, you'll invest in those who can help you grow, challenge you, and push you toward your highest potential. You'll begin to attract the kinds of people who will lift you up rather than drain you. Understanding the different levels of self-awareness in people also means understanding that not everyone needs to be in your life. Some people may not be capable of the growth or self-reflection required for a meaningful connection. And that's okay. It doesn't mean they are bad people. It simply means they are not the right fit for you. Once you recognize this, you free yourself from the emotional burden of trying to change or fix people who are not ready to change. By embracing the ability to recognize the self-awareness of others, you can choose to engage with people who align with your vision, your values, and your purpose. You can navigate your relationships with greater clarity, knowing when to invest and when to step back. And most importantly, you'll be able to protect yourself from unnecessary hurt and frustration by making conscious choices about the relationships you nurture. So, take a moment to think about the people in your life. Do you recognize their level of self-awareness? Are you investing your time and energy in people who help you grow? Or are you pouring into relationships that leave you drained and emotionally exhausted? The next time you meet someone new, ask yourself, who are they really? What level of self-awareness do they possess, and how will that impact your relationship? Understanding these questions is the key to navigating life with intention, protecting your emotional energy, and building relationships that truly serve you. In every interaction, we are faced with a fundamental question. How do we engage with the people around us? Do we treat them all the same, or do we take a moment to understand who they truly are beneath the surface? It is easy to fall into the trap of thinking that everyone should be treated the same. After all, isn't it fair to extend the same kindness, respect, and energy to everyone we meet? However, the truth is that not everyone deserves the same level of investment from us. Some people will help us grow, while others will drain us. Some will lift us up, while others will bring us down. The key to navigating this complexity lies in the ability to recognize which group of people we are dealing with. It is not always easy to discern, but once we understand the different types of individuals we interact with, we can make decisions that align with our well-being and goals. This understanding will help us determine who deserves our energy, time, and trust. The 4 groups of people, each categorized based on their level of self-awareness and the role they play in our lives, offer a framework to guide these decisions. The first group consists of people who know and know that they know. These individuals are rare. They have a depth of understanding and self-awareness that allows them to act with purpose and clarity. They are the ones who have mastered their craft, their thoughts, and their emotions. They do not need to prove anything to anyone because their expertise and self-assurance speak for themselves. These are the people you should seek out for guidance and inspiration. They are the ones whose words and actions can help you grow, challenge your perspective, and encourage you to strive for excellence. However, despite their wisdom, interacting with them can feel intimidating at times. Their knowledge can feel like a distant ideal, something you may never fully reach. But in reality, these people are often the most humble. They are not interested in accolades or recognition. Instead, they share their wisdom freely with those who seek it. When you engage with someone from this group, the best thing you can do is to approach them with humility and a genuine desire to learn. These people will not shy away from teaching you, but they will only invest in you if they see that you are committed to learning and growing. The second group consists of people who know, but don't know that they know. These individuals are often the most underappreciated. They may possess valuable skills, knowledge, or insights, but lack the self-awareness to recognize their own potential. They may shy away from leadership roles, fail to speak up in discussions, or undermine their own abilities due to a lack of confidence. In many cases, they don't realize the impact they could have if they fully embraced their own strengths. This group requires a special kind of attention. They need someone who sees their value and encourages them to recognize it themselves. If you encounter someone from this group, it's your responsibility to help them realize their worth. A simple compliment, a kind word of encouragement, or a show of support can be enough to spark the change they need to begin seeing themselves in a new light. When you help someone from this group recognize their strengths, you give them the tools to step into their full potential. Your investment in them can change their entire trajectory. While it can be frustrating at times, helping someone from this group grow is one of the most rewarding experiences. It's not about simply teaching them. It's about showing them that they are capable of more than they think. The effort you put into encouraging them may take time, but the results can be profound. People who once doubted themselves may begin to embrace their abilities and take on new challenges. In doing so, they will not only improve themselves, but also elevate everyone around them. The third group consists of people who don't know, but know that they don't know. These individuals are perhaps the most open and humble. They are aware of their limitations, and unlike the second group, they are actively seeking to improve. They are the learners, the seekers, the ones who recognize that they have much to learn and are not afraid to ask for help. They may not yet have the answers, but they are constantly striving to find them. These people are a gift to anyone who values growth. They approach life with an openness to learning and a willingness to be guided. They are not interested in pretending to know everything. Instead, they are focused on growing, developing, and becoming the best version of themselves. When you encounter someone from this group, they will likely be receptive to your guidance and advice. They may ask questions, seek your insights, or simply be grateful for your willingness to share your knowledge with them. Engaging with someone from this group is an opportunity to be a mentor and a guide. They will not feel threatened by your expertise or experience because they are actively seeking to learn from others. This group is the perfect audience for sharing your knowledge, expertise, and wisdom. When you invest time and energy into helping someone from this group, you are helping them move forward in their journey, and you will see the results in their growth. There is a special satisfaction that comes from helping someone who is hungry to learn and willing to put in the work to improve. Finally, the fourth group consists of people who don't know and don't know that they don't know. These individuals are the most difficult to engage with. They lack self-awareness and are often convinced that they have all the answers, even though they are completely unaware of their own ignorance. They may be defensive, dismissive of new information, and unwilling to listen to others. These individuals often make decisions without fully understanding the consequences, and their actions can be harmful to those around them. Interacting with people from this group requires patience, but also boundaries. It's important to recognize when you are wasting your energy trying to convince them of something they are not ready to understand. In many cases, it's better to disengage rather than continue to argue or explain. People from this group are rarely open to change unless they are ready to acknowledge their own limitations. Trying to force a conversation or debate with them is often a fruitless endeavor. While it can be frustrating to engage with people from this group, the key is to protect your own energy. Recognizing when it's time to step away from a conversation or relationship can save you a great deal of emotional strain. In some cases, people in this group may evolve over time, but it's important to understand that you cannot change them if they are not ready to change themselves. The best you can do is set boundaries and preserve your own well-being by minimizing the impact of their ignorance on your life. Understanding and recognizing these four groups of people is crucial to managing your relationships and maintaining your emotional health. By knowing when to engage, when to encourage, when to guide, and when to step back, you can create more meaningful and productive relationships. Not every person is meant to be a central part of your life, and that's okay. The key is to invest your time and energy in the people who will help you grow and avoid those who will drain you. As you begin to understand the different types of people you encounter, you'll find that life becomes simpler and more rewarding. You'll stop wasting time on those who don't align with your values, and you'll learn to nurture relationships with people who are truly deserving of your time, energy, and trust. Understanding the four groups is the first step to mastering the art of communication and creating the relationships that will propel you forward in life. In every relationship, how we choose to engage with others can be the difference between growth and stagnation, fulfillment and frustration. The way we treat people depends on our understanding of who they are at their core. Each individual we meet carries a certain energy, perspective, and level of self-awareness that shapes how they interact with the world and with us. The key to navigating relationships lies not in blind interaction, but in strategic, conscious engagement. It is essential to recognize who we are dealing with and respond accordingly, whether it is through encouragement, guidance, or distance. Understanding the dynamics of how we interact with others can help us maintain our emotional balance, invest wisely in relationships, and protect ourselves from unnecessary stress. Every day, we are given the opportunity to choose how we react to the people around us. However, this choice is rarely as simple as it seems. The truth is that not everyone deserves the same level of attention or emotional investment. Recognizing the type of person you're engaging with can significantly alter the outcome of your interaction. Some people are worthy of your trust and time, while others will only drain your energy and lead you down a path of frustration. When we engage with people, we often face the challenge of determining whether they are people who will support our growth or if they are individuals whose presence will only hinder us. The way you approach each person is what makes the difference between enriching your life and feeling emotionally depleted. This is where understanding how to recognize the type of individual you are interacting with becomes critical. The first step in engaging effectively with others is to assess where they stand in terms of their own self-awareness. Do they know who they are and what they can offer? Are they aware of their strengths and weaknesses, or are they unaware of their own limitations? Understanding these distinctions can lead to more effective interactions and ensure that you invest your time, energy, and emotions in people who contribute positively to your life. People who are self-aware tend to offer depth in their communication. They know what they stand for, and their actions align with their words. Their confidence comes from experience and understanding, not from arrogance or superficial success. When engaging with these individuals, the best thing you can do is to learn from them. These are the people who can teach you valuable lessons, challenge your thinking, and help you see things from a different perspective. By observing how they approach life, you can gain insight into how to deal with challenges, communicate more effectively, and make decisions that align with your values. Then, there are the people who might not yet be fully aware of their own strengths or value. They are capable, but they often lack the confidence to recognize their own abilities. These people might not readily step into leadership roles, or they may downplay their achievements, not realizing the incredible value they bring to any situation. Engaging with people like this can be incredibly rewarding, as it provides you the opportunity to encourage them and help them see their worth. Your role in these relationships is often to awaken their awareness of their own abilities. By offering support, expressing belief in them, and providing opportunities for them to grow, you empower them to reach their potential. This process requires patience, as it is not about changing them, but rather about helping them recognize their value and own it. There's something deeply fulfilling in being the catalyst for someone else's growth, knowing that a few kind words or a small act of encouragement can help them see their own capabilities. By investing in people like this, you contribute to their development and, in turn, foster a connection built on trust and mutual respect. For those who know their limits and are actively seeking to overcome them, the best approach is to be a guide. People who are self-aware enough to recognize their weaknesses are often the most open to feedback and growth. These individuals are typically eager to learn and are driven by the desire to improve themselves. When interacting with people in this group, the best thing you can do is offer constructive guidance, share your knowledge, and act as a mentor when needed. People in this group are generally not defensive. They appreciate the help and are grateful for the opportunity to learn. This creates a dynamic where the relationship becomes a partnership, where both parties are invested in helping each other grow. Your input is valued because they have acknowledged that they don't have all the answers. This mutual exchange fosters a deeper sense of connection, and you can feel assured that your energy is being directed towards someone who is receptive and willing to change. However, it's important to note that not every person you encounter will fall into these categories of growth and self-awareness. There will be individuals who are unaware of their limitations, and in some cases completely unaware of the areas where they need to grow. These are the people who are often stubborn, unwilling to listen to others, and resistant to change. Engaging with them can be frustrating, as they are not interested in learning or evolving. In fact, these individuals may even try to convince you that they know everything, even when they are clearly misinformed or acting in ways that are counterproductive. Dealing with people who are not ready to grow can be one of the most exhausting aspects of communication. They tend to argue for the sake of arguing, pushing their own agenda while ignoring the perspectives of others. With these individuals, it is often best to keep your distance. While you may feel a natural inclination to help them or set them on the right path, the truth is that you cannot change someone who is not ready to change. There is a limit to how much energy you should invest in trying to persuade or educate them. Instead, it's important to set boundaries, understand when to disengage, and focus your efforts on people who are open to growth and self-awareness. One of the hardest lessons in relationships is recognizing when to walk away. The reality is that not every person you meet will be worth your time and energy. By learning to identify who is genuinely open to growth and who is not, you can navigate life with a clearer sense of purpose and emotional safety. Protecting your emotional energy is crucial, and knowing when to step away from relationships that are not contributing to your personal growth is just as important as fostering the right ones. Ultimately, your interactions with others should feel like a mutual exchange, not a one-sided effort. If you find yourself constantly giving, constantly trying to make things work, but feeling drained in the process, it's time to reassess the relationship. Ask yourself, is this person helping me grow, or am I just pouring energy into something that's not worth it? If the answer is the latter, it's okay to take a step back and refocus your energy on relationships that are genuinely fulfilling and that push you to become the best version of yourself. By learning to recognize the types of people you are engaging with and understanding when to invest your time and energy, you will be able to create a network of relationships that nurture your growth and protect your well-being. You will no longer waste your time on those who will only hold you back, but instead, you will be surrounded by people who inspire you, challenge you, and help you thrive. Life is filled with interactions, connections, and relationships that shape our experiences. Every day, we engage with people, some of whom we deeply connect with, and others who may cause us frustration or even emotional harm. The key to navigating these relationships, avoiding unnecessary emotional strain, and building connections that truly enrich our lives lies in our ability to recognize who we are dealing with. Understanding the different types of people we encounter gives us the power to choose how to engage with them, where to invest our time and energy, and when to protect ourselves by creating distance. At the heart of every relationship lies a decision. How will we interact with this person? Will we give them our time, our trust, our energy, or will we withhold those things, knowing they aren't deserving of them? This decision is influenced by how well we understand the other person, their intentions, and their capacity for growth and change. That's why it's so important to develop an awareness of who the people in our lives are and how they perceive themselves. When we can recognize this, we gain a sense of clarity that allows us to navigate our relationships with intention, wisdom, and peace. We are all born into this world with different levels of self-awareness. Some people are incredibly in tune with who they are and what they bring to the world. They understand their strengths, weaknesses, and the impact they have on others. Others, however, may not yet have that clarity. Some may be unaware of their limitations or potential, while others are actively seeking self-improvement but are still unsure of how to get there. The key to building lasting, healthy relationships is recognizing these different levels of awareness in others and responding accordingly. Awareness is the starting point for healthy interactions. Without it, we are likely to fall into the trap of assuming that everyone operates from the same place of self-awareness and understanding that we do. We might invest our time and energy into someone who is not yet ready to grow or change, or we might withhold support from someone who is open to learning and evolving. This can lead to frustration, disappointment, and feelings of being misunderstood. The power lies in understanding the people around us and adjusting our approach to them accordingly. When we encounter people who are highly self-aware, we are interacting with individuals who are grounded, clear, and confident in their own identity. These individuals are often capable of deep reflection and have a profound understanding of their place in the world. They don't need external validation because their sense of self is built on years of experience, trial and error, and personal growth. Engaging with these individuals is incredibly rewarding because they have the ability to challenge our thinking, expand our perspectives, and encourage us to be better versions of ourselves. However, as inspiring and powerful as they are, it's important to recognize that their growth and maturity don't come without struggle. They have put in the work to reach this level of self awareness, and they may even appreciate when others recognize their wisdom and seek to learn from them. Engaging with such individuals requires humility, a willingness to listen, learn, and grow. These relationships are the ones where we can find mentors, guides, and friends who push us to be more than we thought we could be. On the flip side, there are people who may not fully recognize their own potential, despite having tremendous abilities. These are the people who may not speak up in meetings or step into leadership roles, even though they are more than capable. They may lack the self-confidence to assert themselves, or may even second-guess their worth. These people are often underappreciated by others, but they are often the ones who have the most to offer, if only they could see it in themselves. When interacting with these individuals, it's important to understand that they are not necessarily weak or incapable. Instead, they may simply need someone to see their value and help them realize it for themselves. Encouraging these individuals, showing them their strengths, and giving them opportunities to shine can be transformative. When we invest in these people, we provide them with the encouragement they need to begin acknowledging their potential and stepping into their power. This investment often pays off, not just in the growth of the other person, but also in the deep connection that forms between the two of you. There's something truly magical about helping someone discover their worth. It's a gift, not only to the person you're helping, but also to yourself. You become a part of their growth journey, a quiet guide in their transition from self-doubt to self-assurance. These types of relationships are often the most meaningful because they are built on mutual support, shared growth, and the recognition of one another's potential. By investing in someone who is unaware of their value but open to growth, you create a bond that can last a lifetime. However, not everyone we encounter will fit neatly into the categories of self-awareness or growth. There will always be people who are unaware of their own limitations, and these individuals can often be the hardest to interact with. These people are convinced that they have all the answers, even when they are completely misinformed. They are often unwilling to listen to advice and tend to ignore feedback. They may act as though they know everything about a given subject, despite their lack of real knowledge or experience. Dealing with these individuals requires a significant amount of patience and boundaries. It's tempting to try and convince them of their mistakes or argue with them to help them see the truth, but often this is a wasted effort. People in this group tend to resist change, and no matter how much we try to explain things to them, they will not listen unless they are willing to open themselves up to learning. Engaging in these types of conversations can be emotionally draining and frustrating. The key here is to recognize when it's time to disengage. Trying to change someone who isn't ready to change is not only futile, but it can also cause you unnecessary emotional harm. People in this group need to come to their realizations on their own. The best course of action is often to set boundaries, minimize emotional investment, and focus your energy elsewhere. Protecting your emotional well-being is crucial. These individuals may change over time, but they can't change until they're ready, and it's not your responsibility to force that change. Understanding when to walk away from these interactions is a crucial part of maintaining your emotional balance. It is not about abandoning people, but about choosing where to invest your energy. Life is too short to spend time arguing with people who are not open to growth. By recognizing the differences in self-awareness, you can protect your mental and emotional health while still being present for those who are ready to learn, evolve, and grow alongside you. The ability to distinguish between these different types of individuals is one of the most empowering tools we can possess. It allows us to navigate relationships with more intention, greater clarity, and a deeper understanding of ourselves and others. By recognizing the self-awareness of the people we engage with, we can make more informed choices about how to interact with them, how to protect ourselves, and how to foster relationships that support our personal growth. In the end, relationships are about more than just communication. They are about mutual growth, understanding, and emotional well-being. By understanding the different levels of self-awareness in the people around us, we can build more meaningful, fulfilling connections and avoid those that will drain us. Our energy is a precious resource, and we should spend it wisely. By choosing to invest in the right people, we create a life that is not only emotionally fulfilling, but also enriching on every level. In life, we are constantly faced with choices. Every day, we interact with a variety of people, and how we choose to engage with them significantly influences our well-being, growth, and happiness. Understanding the different levels of self-awareness in the people we meet can completely transform how we approach relationships. It allows us to recognize who is worthy of our time, trust, and emotional energy, and who we should distance ourselves from to protect our peace of mind. By recognizing the 4 types of individuals, those who know and know that they know, those who know but don't know that they know, those who don't know but know that they don't know, and those who don't know and don't know that they don't know, we can learn how to engage with them in the most productive way. With people who are self-aware, we can engage as learners and equals, exchanging knowledge and wisdom. With those who are unaware of their value, we can help guide and encourage them, providing the support they need to realize their own potential. And with those who are resistant to growth, we can choose to protect our energy, setting boundaries and walking away when necessary. Understanding these distinctions isn't just about avoiding frustration. It's about consciously choosing the relationships that will enhance our lives. It's about knowing when to invest in others and when to protect ourselves. Our emotional energy is one of our most precious resources, and we must use it wisely. When we apply this framework in our daily lives, we can cultivate relationships that nurture us, challenge us, and ultimately help us grow into the best version of ourselves. The lesson here is simple. Awareness is power. By learning to recognize the levels of self-awareness in the people around us, we gain the ability to make more informed, intentional decisions in our relationships. This understanding allows us to act with purpose, ensuring that our energy is spent on people who uplift us rather than drain us. So how can you apply this lesson to your life today? Start by paying attention to the people you interact with. Take a moment to observe their actions, listen to their words, and assess their level of self-awareness. Ask yourself, what type of person am I engaging with right now? Based on your assessment, choose how you will respond. Will you offer support and guidance? Will you engage in a learning exchange? Or will you protect your energy and step back? The key to building a fulfilling life is making conscious decisions about who we allow into our personal space and who we choose to invest our time and energy in. By doing so, we can create stronger, healthier relationships that support our growth and happiness. If you found this insight valuable, join our Success Lesson community for more practical wisdom and valuable content that will help you live a more intentional, fulfilling life. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to show your support and keep yourself motivated to keep learning and growing. We are committed to bringing you more powerful lessons that will guide you every step of the way.